Hi, I'm Mark Sloboda, and this is The Real Politique. Since the openly West-backed Maidan Putsch in 2014, January 1st has been proclaimed a national holiday in Ukraine, celebrating the birthday of the genocidal World War II-era West Ukrainian fascist and anti-Semite ideologue, terrorist insurgent leader, Nazi collaborator, and Holocaust perpetrator Stepan Bandera. For the last 8 years, it has been marked by horrifying torch-lit nighttime parades of the regime's neo-Nazi death squads and brown shirts goose-stepping through the streets of the capital, Kiev. This year, the Kiev Putsch regime's parliamentary body, the Rada, celebrated this fascist holiday with a tweet, now deleted, on Twitter, showing the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, the 4-star general Valery Zaluzhny, standing, smiling smugly, in front of a portrait of Stepan Bandera, accompanied by one of Bandera's quotes. The complete and final victory of Ukrainian nationalism will come when the Russian Empire ceases to exist. And then added, a fight against the Russian Empire is currently underway, and the precepts of Stepan Bandera are well known to the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. This is hardly the first such revelation. Zaluzhny is infamously known as an open ideological supporter of Stepan Bandera, now officially glorified by the West-backed Kiev Putsch regime as a hero and founding father of the new Ukraine under their rule and vision. This is almost certainly one of the criteria for which he was chosen to lead the Kiev regime's military forces. In 2021, right after becoming the Kiev regime's commander-in-chief, Zaluzhny officially appointed Dmitry Yarosh, the head and founder of the neo-Nazi and white supremacist paramilitary group, the Right Sector, as his personal senior military advisor. And Zaluzhny obviously loves throwing around PR photo shoots of himself, brazenly displaying his Banderite fascist bona fides. Yes, despite the fact that his president, Zelensky, has a Jewish daddy. This year, the Kiev regime's commander-in-chief posted to his own Twitter account a frontline photo of himself striding in uniform, with an assault rifle in hand, prominently displaying a bracelet carved with swastikas. Lamely, the Western mainstream media echoed every crypto neo-Nazi ever by claiming, it's not a swastika, it's just an ancient Viking symbol. Seriously? Yeah, I'm sure the Bandera-worshipping head of the Ukrainian military was wearing swastikas just because he's secretly a Norse pagan. In another photo from this year, Zaluzhny is shown in uniform, standing in a military office with several other soldiers in front of a desk adorned with busts of OUNB leaders and Nazi collaborators Stepan Bandera and Roman Shukovich, both of which, Shukovich and Bandera, are also prominently hanging on the wall in the background, along with the red and black Banderite flag. A separate photo taken of Zaluzhny's office also has a bust of Bandera displayed prominently for all to see on a table against the wall. In a recent interview with The Economist, Zaluzhny said flat out, "We've been at war since 2014, and the most experience we had, and the one which we have practiced almost like a religion, is that Russians and any other enemies must be killed, just killed, and most importantly, we should not be afraid, not hesitate to do it. And this is what we are doing." Yes, they have indeed been killing Russians since 2014 in Ukraine. In a civil conflict in a country where 20% of the population is ethnic Russian, and a significant proportion of the rest, particularly in the East, are Russian-speaking, and regard Russians as a brother people, not as the enemy. This is the Banderite fascist commander-in-chief of a military armed, trained, given C4ISR, directed and puppeted by NATO, and funded to the cost of now hundreds of billions of Western taxpayer dollars in a proxy war on Russia. Zaluzhny celebrated in Western media reports, magazine covers, and newspaper front pages as a hero. How can this be? The grim reality is that as long as Zaluzhny's hatred and violence, and that of his neo-Nazi hordes, are directed for the moment primarily against ethnic Russians, pro-Russian Eastern Ukrainians, and leftists, then his brand of Banderite fascism is geopolitically useful to the West, and thus kosher. Indeed, the US and Canada have a long documented history of supporting Banderite fascists in Ukraine and their analogs in the Baltics back to the immediate aftermath of World War II.